In the heart of a forgotten village, where endless rains seem to wash away time itself, stands an old Haveli. For 200 years, its cracked walls have whispered secrets of the past, but none as dark as the one buried deep within its dusty, decaying corridors. The villagers have a name for it. They call it Guddi. It's a doll, barely 2.5 feet tall, crudely fashioned from old cloth and wood. Its porcelain face is a mask of permanent, unnerving cheerfulness, a fixed smile that never fades. But it's the eyes that hold the real terror. Glassy, black orbs, threaded with tiny red veins that seem to follow you, moving ever so slightly on their own when you're not looking. The air around this doll is always cold, a pocket of unnatural chill that clings to your skin. And if you listen, really listen, you can hear a faint, constant whisper, as if the very walls of the Haveli are breathing. The villagers have learned to fear this place. They avoid the Haveli at all costs, especially after the sun disappears behind the horizon. Guddi, a woman from the village, was the first in a long time to witness the horror firsthand. One stormy night, as relentless rain lashed against the broken windows, curiosity got the better of her. She dared to peer inside. There, sitting alone in the long, dark corridor, was the doll. As she watched, frozen in place, its head began to turn. Slowly, unnaturally, it twisted on its neck to face her, its movements completely out of sync with the howling wind. A cold, primal terror gripped her heart. She didn't scream. Sehust ran, not daring to look back. The image of that turning head burned into her mind. When Guddi, breathless and shaking, told the village elders what she had seen, they didn't comfort her. They silenced her. With grim faces and fearful eyes, they warned her never to look at the Haveli again, to forget what she saw. Some secrets, they insisted, are better left undisturbed. But not everyone feared the darkness. In fact, some are drawn to it. Baba Kalicharan, a Tantrik, obsessed with forbidden magic and the pursuit of power, heard the whispers about the Haveli. He saw the doll not as a curse to be feared, but as an opportunity to be seized. He believed an ancient, powerful spirit was trapped inside it, a raw, untamed energy just waiting for someone bold enough to claim it. Armed with his skull beads, copper rings, and scriptures filled with forbidden knowledge, he decided to face the darkness head-on. On another storm-filled night, he entered the Haveli, his chants echoing through the empty, cavernous halls, a defiant challenge to the silence. He made his way to the locked basement, a place no one had entered for a century. There, surrounded by symbols drawn in blood and flickering oil lamps that cast dancing, monstrous shadows, Kalikaran began his ritual. As thunder cracked open the sky above, his trembling voice chanted mantras lost to time. He spoke directly to the spirit within the doll, making a terrible pact. He promised it a new form, a human body to inhabit, a vessel to escape its cloth prison. In exchange, he demanded its power. The air in the basement grew thick and heavy, suffocating. The whispers that always haunted the Haveli grew desperate, swirling around him like a vortex of tormented souls. And on the floor above, the doll's porcelain smile seemed to stretch wider than ever before, a grotesque, silent witness to the unholy bargain. That night, the rain fell harder than anyone in the village could remember. The Haveli's old, rusted bells, silent for decades, began to ring on their own, clashing in a chaotic, mournful cry that carried across the storm. The villagers huddled in their homes, praying for morning. When morning finally came, the rain had stopped. The Haveli was silent once more, but Baba Kalikaran was gone, vanished without a trace. The only evidence of his ritual was the smoldering embers of his fire and a suffocating silence that felt heavier than any sound. But something else had changed. The whispers inside the Haveli grew louder, no longer just a faint murmur. Now, they were tinged with the sound of a child's voice that was confused, angry, and utterly broken. A small figure began to move through the narrow, dark corridors. At first glance, it looked like a child, perhaps 9 or 10 years old, with thin, unnaturally long limbs. Its skin was a pale, sickly gray, with crude stitches visible at the wrists and neck, as if it had been crudely pieced together from forgotten parts. Long, uneven black hair covered half of its face, but in the shadows, Its eyes were unmistakable deep black pools that glowed with a malevolent red light from within. It wore the same faded red frock Guddi once wore, now stained, torn, and perpetually damp. Its movements were jerky, unnatural, its head tilting at impossible angles as it glided through the halls without a sound. It was the dull, and yet not the dull. It was a painful, incomplete transformation. Baba Kalicharan's ritual had worked, but not as he'd intended. He'd created a nightmare given flesh. This new being possessed terrifying power. Doors in the Haveli would lock on their own. Shadows stretched and twisted into monstrous shapes across the peeling walls, dancing to a silent, horrifying rhythm. And late at night when the wind howls through the village, people swear they can hear a soft voice drifting from the direction of the Haveli child's lonely cry, mixed with a sinister, hungry whisper calling for something it has lost, something it can never get back. The Haveli still stands, a decaying monument to a ritual gone horribly, catastrophically wrong. The curse was never broken. It was unleashed. Baba Kalikaran is gone, but the thing he created remains trapped between the world of the living and the world of the dead, forever wandering the dark, echoing halls of its prison. The doors of the Haveli are locked, chained shut by the terrified villagers long ago. But they soon learned that some locks are not meant to keep people out. They are meant to keep something in. And on quiet, rain-soaked nights, if you're brave enough or foolish enough to look, some say you can still see a small face at one of the broken windows, with glowing red eyes, waiting. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next descent into the darkness.